We are in a situation whereby Dr. Beallis is not charged with anything. No one has said he's a suspect with anything. Let's be clear. His lawyer says he's innocent and that they're cooperating. But look at this picture, and the fact pattern looks really bad. Take me from there as a defense lawyer. What should he, or what do you think he is doing right about now?
Well, number one, his lawyer, I'm sure, is making sure that he's got all of the information about the previous death being ruled a suicide, because one of the most, we often say about prosecutors, what they lack in quality, they'll make up for in quantity in charges. The last thing you want is for them to rule that case was also a homicide, combine the two together, and then have them invoke kind of a serial killer scenario. I mean, that's number one. Number two, you want to make sure, and by the way, the cases, whether it was Scott 20 years ago, Drew Peterson a number of years ago, this case, there was yet another Peterson that was the staircase. They made a docuseries out of it. Yes, exactly. One of the things that we have today that we didn't necessarily have in these prior cases was the police ability to track somebody by virtue of their phone, their social media, all kinds of other kind of electronic footprints and crumbs that you can leave. You can probably do more today. I was thinking earlier today about the grand jury in the Celeste Rivas case here in Los Angeles. They have developed, LAPD has developed an incredibly robust timeline based on, and that's why it's taken so long, based on putting together all of these kinds of things that you didn't have at your disposal. I mean, you now have cars that have cameras, cars that have GPS tracking. You've got geofencing where you can find out where somebody was. You can use the cell phone towers. You can use the cell phone maps to kind of triangulate somebody's location, and you can overlay them. You can find out where was she. You can estimate with some great accuracy now when electronic devices stopped working and try to pinpoint time of death, find out where somebody was. I mean, it's an incredible technological age that we live in for investigations, both from the defense exculpatory and from the prosecution inculpatory.
Yeah, just ask the lacrosse players, the Duke lacrosse players, about the exculpatory evidence they wanted assessed and looked at by the prosecutor. It didn't happen, and that thing just blew apart. So let me ask you this. There were 12 search warrants to date. There may be one today we don't know about, but so far about 12 search warrants and multiple agencies involved in this investigation. Here's my guess. Those warrants more than likely include his electronics, his phone, their security systems, their cameras, the ring.com at the mansion, the ring.com wherever the hell he's living, his GPS on his car. You tell me what I'm missing here and where he should be shaking in his boots.
So I didn't know that because I probably didn't read the points by your producer, but you're spot on. The search warrants, those are the 12 that we know about. Remember, usually when you subpoena or do whether a grand jury or a search warrant or any kind of legal process on things like your carrier, like your iCloud provider, all of those things, they generally are done covertly, meaning you don't find out about it until after the fact because they don't want anybody doing anything to destroy evidence. So those 12 are a bare minimum. It would not surprise me if you had 3 or 4 times that many, upwards of 50 warrants based on all kinds of the things you just said. But if somebody used social media, that would be the first place that I would go. If somebody was using some kind of a ring camera, that would be another. If you have a remote arming device on your house or on your car, if you've got a tracking service, people don't realize that their cars now the manufacturer has the ability to tell you where your car was at what time, on, off, where it traveled. You can track all of those things. So we really have entered a completely different era than we used to have.
Boy, I'll tell you, half of me hates the fact that you and I are having this conversation, that it's out there in the public. One only has to watch CSI and Forensic Files, and they will know these things. But I'm always glad that the criminals are so dumb, and so many of them don't know these things. And then, of course, it makes your job very hard. But let me ask you this. The first wife, Mark Geragos, died by gun violence. It's either a crazy coincidence or it is a pattern. So do you believe that police would look at this case, at her case, a little like Tammy Daybell in the Lori Vallow Daybell case and say, I think we better dig her up. I think we better take a second look. Is that something that you think might be happening right now?
Absolutely. I think it would be almost investigative malpractice per se not to. They would do that. And by the way, I think the defense probably is as well, because you don't want to be surprised by anything. You want to have a parallel investigation. You want to defend your client. You also want to investigate. You want to find out what and if and how they determined previously that it was a suicide. You'd want to take a look at that. You're going to have the family, obviously, as you alluded to in your package, from the first unfortunate death, I'll call it. They're now going to believe they've got wind at their back if they've always believed that it wasn't a suicide. And so they may be constructing evidence or trying to bring forth evidence, if you will, to have people reassess it. It's a massive undertaking, both by the investigators and by the defense.
So the victim in the case, the mom at least, the children are victims as well, but Charity Beallis, their mom, I don't know how this is going to work. She was none too pleased with the Sebastian County prosecutors because of what she thought was a pretty easygoing plea deal that her husband got after choking her in front of those babies. He got effectively a slap on the wrist. This is what she wrote publicly back then. Okay, I'm going to read it word for word. She says, I am the victim, yet I've been treated like the problem, while the criminal, a local doctor, is being shielded by the very system that's supposed to protect us. I've tried to reach prosecuting attorney Daniel Shue, but he won't even accept a letter from me. My voice as the victim has been shut out. This is not just about me. This is about a system that protects offenders and rejects victims. Lives are at stake, including the lives of young children. It gives me the willies. I literally get chills when I think of her writing that, and now knowing that 3 lives, indeed, hers and children's, are gone. But talk to me about the potential conflict of interest, because that prosecuting attorney, Daniel Shue, is likely supposed to be heading up the murder investigation now.
Right. It would not surprise me at all if her family demands that another authority, prosecuting authority, comes in and does the investigation. And the longer the investigation goes on without identifying somebody, that is going to give fodder to either side. And by the way, if in fact they do arrest this doctor and this gentleman, that's going to provide fodder to the defense as well. So it's kind of a lose-lose situation. I mean, there's going to be the argument from the defense that, of course, she was writing that. They were involved in a divorce. She didn't like what was happening. She was trying to leverage it, the accusations through the divorce. And on the other side, her family is going to now argue the complete opposite.
Well, she was speaking about a crime that he definitely committed. He admitted to committing. She was upset about it being such an easy sentence. And who knows if he did this? I don't know that. Randall Beallis, Dr. Beallis, is not charged with this. I will repeat again. He is not even announced suspect at this point. But you can bet I'm going to be following this one. And Geragos, you can bet I'm going to call you again. Thank you for this.
Thank you. Good to see you, Ashleigh.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.